What film made you notice an actor was better/had more range than you originally thought? Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday in Tombstone, very different than in Top Secret and Real Genius. Doc, dying of tuberculosis and still getting into gunfights with cowboy gangs. Why you doing this, Doc? Wyatt Earp is my friend. Hell, I got lots of friends. I don't. Oh, forgive me, Johnny, I forgot you were there. You may go. He's had some incredible roles. Might be an unpopular opinion, but I think he nailed Jim Morrison in The Doors. Edit, perhaps that wasn't unpopular at all. Maybe I confused the criticisms about historical accuracy that usually follow an Oliver Stone film with Kilmer's performance. He did his own singing in the film, and surviving members at The Doors said that he sounded just like Jim. Kilmer was amazing as Jim Morrison. Half the time when I picture Jim Morrison in my head, I'm inadvertently picturing Val Kilmer instead. John C. Reilly, Chicago. I see your John C. Reilly in Chicago and raise you a John C. Reilly in Gangs of New York. I'll raise that to him in Magnolia. I will raise you twice. Do we need to talk about Kevin and the Hours? John C. Reilly is actually one of my favorite actors. I respect immensely. He's an incredible drama actor that also plays some of the silliest and dumbest characters just because he wants to, I assume. He was really good in The Sisters Brothers too. I think he's a great actor that had more luck in comedy, maybe due to not having leading man looks. Helena Bonham Carter in The King's Speech. I've watched that movie many times over, and still think she was fantastic. She's also wonderful in The Crown. She's wonderful in general, and I thoroughly enjoy seeing her in non-creepy weirdo Tim Burton-esque roles. I enjoy him too, but I'm glad she's been able to show range. Helena Bonham Carter in Fight Club. She'd done Shakespearean-type stuff before that, then suddenly played a loopy druggie really well. For me it was Jeff Daniels. I saw him in The Martian, 2015, and I didn't know who this intimidating, scary man was. I assumed if the film had a villain, he'd be it. But then I realized I had also seen him in Dumb and Dumber, 1994. He was that guy? Well, he sure does have some range. I recommend The Newsroom if you haven't seen it. Side note, I enjoyed it, but some people may find it a bit political. He plays a fantastic villain in the miniseries Godless, on Netflix. Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo. How about Robin Williams in Insomnia, the early Christopher Nolan movie? Creepy, scary Williams is the best Williams. Margot Robbie, I, Tanya. Yes. Such an excellent movie. Margot Robbie is wonderful as usual, and Allison Janney very well deserved the Oscar. I was absolutely blown away by Rosamund Pike in Gone Girl. I genuinely thought she didn't have it in her to be Amy. I was very wrong. She has a new movie on Netflix where she's supposed to have a stunning performance. Oh man, same. Also, I was not sure how I felt about Ben Affleck playing Nick. Did not think he could pull off that character, but I loved it. The movie's commentary with David Fincher had him insinuating that Affleck did so well because he's not so different from Nick. Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting and Awakenings. Robin Williams was great in Dead Poets Society and Good Morning Vietnam, too. Robin Williams is underrated as a serious actor. At least it feels that way. It's so hard not to think of him as an amazing comedian and funny guy, but he has nailed so many non-comedy roles. Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler. Enemy is a great one too. Jake Gyllenhaal is great in just about everything he's in. And if anyone wants another recommendation, Source Code is awesome. It took me a while to appreciate how good he is. That's probably the one that made me notice as well. Great shout, totally agree. He was really good in Zodiac too. The Lighthouse. I have to be honest, I never knew Robert Pattinson from anything other than Twilight before watching this. He's an exceptional actor. It was actually Remember Me that caught my attention with him. It's not like an amazing film, but it made me see beyond Twilight. Him and Pierce Brosnan in that conference room was amazing. Movie crushes me every time. Watch, great movie with Pattinson. Web link. Pattinson had the, relatively, bad luck to get big doing a financially successful but ultimately terrible franchise. During that same period he got offered a lot of similar roles in similarly mopey love stories that were mostly also terrible. None of the terribleness was his fault though. I think he's managed to wash the stink off his career at this point, fortunately. I too was guilty of writing him off, but that was unfair. I've gone from cringing to automatically interested whenever I hear his name attached to a project. There was a great article here on Reddit not too long ago, that I'm too lazy to look up, all about how Robert Pattinson, Elijah Craig, and Daniel Radcliffe were able to avoid getting pigeonholed into their big-budget fantasy franchises by taking some really deep, downright strange parts. Edit, yes, I meant Elijah Wood. I don't even drink bourbon. I still remember seeing that trailer for Radcliffe's movie post-HP where he becomes a devil and goes insane. Never got to watch it, but that marked for me his going away from Harry Potter. He's fantastic in the extremely quirky and odd movie Swiss Army Man. If you can get past the first 30 minutes, it becomes a really heartwarming, it's strange, film. I started thinking he was good in The Devil all the time. Hated him before that. Then liked him too in Tenet. He was incredible in that movie, but Harry Melling, the guy who played Dudley in Harry Potter, was so creepy that I can't see him in anything else without getting really uncomfortable. Clive Owen in Children of Men. This movie blew me away, and that doesn't happen often. He was great and the cinematic effects were incredible. Colin Farrell in Bruges. I honest had no idea he could really act until I saw that movie, and since then he's had quite a few extremely good performances. His eyebrows deserved an Academy Award for In Bruges. Someone once said that Colin Farrell is a character actor cursed with leading man looks. No movie in particular, but Gary Oldman, after I realized he was in so many movies that I enjoy. Range for days. I was once arguing with a friend that Gary Oldman is a superior actor to Leo DiCaprio, with my reasoning that Oldman has superior range and can disappear into roles in a way that Leo can't. We were watching Hannibal during this conversation, and he was disagreeing with me until I pointed out that Gary Oldman was on the screen as we were speaking and he had no idea. The twist when Gary Oldman was actually in the room watching you guys have this conversation. Gary Oldman was the friend. Leo is one of those actors that no matter how good he is in the role, he's still Leo to me. With Gary Oldman I can watch a movie and completely forget I'm watching him. I can't do that with Leo. That's exactly it. Leo is a great actor, but Gary could teach a master class. Gary Oldman is so good there's a point in every person's life that you realize he's one of your top 3 favorite actors and just didn't know it for the past 20 years because you didn't realize it was the same guy in all your favorite movies. I thought Gary Oldman was one of my top 10 actors, but on further review it turns out he's at least 3 of my top 10 actors. He was great in Leon the Professional as well. Bring me everyone. What do you mean, everyone? Everyone. I loved him in The Fifth Element. My favorite. Will Ferrell in Stranger Than Fiction, didn't expect to see him nail a serious role. He is also very out of character in Everything Must Go. That one was unexpected for me in a good way. A friend suggested it to me when it was in theaters as the new Will Ferrell movie. My friend was into indie movies, I wasn't, but he always had good suggestions, so I went in not knowing anything. I really enjoyed seeing him in a non-comedy role. This is the one I came here to say. Not a huge Will Ferrell fan, but that one really got me. Brought you flowers. Lol. There's a scene in Forrest Gump where Forrest is trying to ask Jenny if Forrest Jr. is slow. The emotions on Tom Hanks' face, fear, shame, pride, he just blew me away. Tom Hanks is exceptional. He seems to nail every role and somehow make you feel what his character is feeling. The man made me cry about a blood-stained volleyball drifting away, for God's sake. To that point, Castaway really is a masterpiece. So much of that movie has no dialogue and he still manages to capture the audience. It's almost like you are right there with him going through the crap, and at the end, it's as much your heartbreak and victory as it is his. The thing he did that made me cry was telling his son in Apollo 13 that the problem with the door had been fixed. I don't know why it crushed me, but it did. I knew Tom Hanks from Forrest Gump, and how good actor he was. After watching Saving Private Ryan, I can't think of an actor better than him. Tom Hanks is amazing in any role, but my favorite, non-voice acting like Toy Story, is The Green Mile. Such an amazing movie. I was 7 when I saw that. That was the first movie to make me cry sad emotional tears. That execution scene was so powerful that I remember that vividly to this day. R.I.P. Michael Clark Duncan. That's a heavy movie for a 7-year-old. I didn't watch it until I was in college. No one else could have played John Coffey. Like the drink. Only spelled different. I can't help tear up when he gets medical attention in Captain Phillips. The medics were real, and I heard they teared up too. YouTube link. That scene, among many others in Hank's career, proves to me just how much of a effing behemoth of an actor he is. The mixture of pain, trauma, and relief he conveys is just so real it makes me want to hug the guy. Oh, and also the just 1 minute of silence scene from A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. So understated but so powerful. That scene utterly decimated me. I never thought much of Brad Pitt, but after watching Fight Club and more importantly say 7N, just... holy crap, that guy did great. 12 Monkeys and Inglourious Bastards. There's a saying about how he's a character actor stuck in a leading man's body. I think he gets the heartthrob image because men tend to love him too. Especially after Fight Club, I think a lot of guys identified with the Tyler Durden character. Lots of other movies, but I think his performance in Inglourious Bastards was great as well. Jim Carrey in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It was the first time I saw him in a role where he isn't, well, Jim Carreying. I was impressed by how subtle and nuanced his performance was. The Truman Show is the movie that impressed me. Jim Carrey was awesome in that. I still say, good morning. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening and good night to people from time to time. The only movies I knew starring Jim were Liar Liar, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and Ace Ventura. Then Truman Show woke me up, such a range of emotions in that one. Then when I watched Eternal Sunshine, I knew this guy was made of a different clay. So deep. Movie overall was fantastic, but now watching it again, I can't imagine anyone else for old Joel. California, Brad Pitt. Monster, Charlize Theron. I recently watched Monster for the first time and I was blown away. Not because, wow, they made Charlize Theron ugly, but because of how she gave everything to the role. Throughout the movie, she would go from likable to toxic to crazy to sympathetic in the span of about 3 seconds. Her acting was just so insanely good. Bryan Cranston moving from Malcolm in the Middle to Breaking Bad. Similarly, Bob Odenkirk. I am rewatching Malcolm in the Middle at the moment and he's doing such a great job in this one. But a good comedy performance never gets you the praise more serious roles will get you. He is such a versatile actor. Hal is one of the best TV dads of all time. That scene where he and Francis kick the crap out of each other when Francis gets himself emancipated always makes me chuckle as they walk back to the house with Hal's arm over Francis' shoulder. Also the court scene where they use Malcolm's intelligence to prove that Hal couldn't possibly be guilty of a conspiracy to embezzle from the company he worked for because he hadn't gone to work on a single Friday for 15 years and every date he allegedly tried to cheat the company was on a Friday. Bryan Cranston's performance in that scene was remarkable. He was able to realistically seem naive, ashamed, proud of Malcolm, morose, and triumphant all in a 4 or so minute period. Web link. My favorite Hal moment is when Lois finds out she's pregnant and Hal calms her down, then afterwards he goes to the car and has a total breakdown, and then it cuts to Malcolm in the back seat. Yep, the best scene in my opinion. Cranston was a silly character in Malcolm, but Breaking Bad was a great choice to play WW. Bob Odenkirk threw a effing curveball because I've always liked his comedy, but Jimmy McGill is probably his best performance. Cranston has said he likes to boil his characters down to one primal trait. Hal was fear and Walter was pride. Just binging Breaking Bad at the moment. Pride is definitely what ruins everything for WW. Time after time. If you were watching it at the one episode per week pace, it might not be so obvious. Watching it back to back, it is glaring. I'm actually doing exactly what you are doing, binging Breaking Bad after following it along on a week-to-week basis when it came out. It's so obvious it almost hurts. Time and time again Jesse, Mike, and Sal, hell even Gus, gives Walt every chance to get out of the game multiple times, and he denied it all. It's still one of the best series of all time, but binging it really made me realize how big of a dick Walt was and made me pull for Jesse, Badger, and Pete more than I did the first time around. Side note, Jesse's character development is among the best I've ever seen in a TV series. Dude goes from a meth-addicted punk to a seriously lovable person who you are pulling for through the course of the series. Man, my fiancé and I did almost bust out laughing when he waltzed in during Little Women. Great movie and he was great, but to build up their father so much to have him played by Bob Odenkirk? Truly a shock. Especially for him to burst in and say, "Ah, my Little Women." Cracked me up. Heath Ledger as the Joker seems like the most obvious answer, but I still can't watch that movie and make my brain process that it's the same guy as A Knight's Tale. Also Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting. That was a long time ago, but it was a big, dramatic role for a zany comedian type. Heath Ledger in The Lords of Dogtown caught me off guard too. I didn't even realize it was him until the credits rolled. Dude was an incredible actor. I miss his talents. Matthew McConaughey in Dallas Buyers Club. Edit, I've never seen Mud, Lincoln Lawyer, Wolf of Wall Street, or True Detective. I honestly completely forgot about A Time to Kill, but I consider that one an anomaly when you look at the other stuff he was making at the same time. And I didn't really consider Frailty because he is barely in it. That is a Bill Paxton movie to me. Edit 2, F, forgot about Amistad 2. I didn't see that one until my senior semester class in undergrad. I actually think I saw that in DBC around the same time. True Detective S1. I was thinking of Woody Harrelson in this thread because of that show. He went from rom-com douche to best actor real quick. I listened to a podcast where they explained that he was done with the rom-com roles and kept refusing higher and higher paychecks until he was offered a proper serious role. And then he blew everyone's minds with Dallas Buyers Club when that was offered and he took it. I thought how it was great that he wanted to develop his career and show what he was capable of without being seduced by money. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.